Okay, we are ready, I think.
Should I begin?
Sure.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Welcome to the Sutta study series being organized by Dhamma USA under the guidance of Venerable Bhante Sumita. We are going to study the concluding part 3 of the Sammādiṭṭhi Sutta today. It is from the Majjhima Nikaya, number 9 Sutta. May I now request Bhanteji to begin the Dhamma Desna. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Honor to him, the Blessed One, the Worthy One, the fully enlightened One. My utmost respect to the perfectly enlightened Samma Sambuddha, the noble doctrine of the Buddha, and the noble Mahasangha, the disciples of the Buddha. Hello everyone, welcome to our Sutta study series, and today we are continuing with our Majjhima Nikaya Sutta number 9, and today is actually we are working on part 3 of the Sammādiṭṭhi Sutta, which is quite an extensive sutta, so it will take, I hope, a little more than what we think. Hopefully we will not be able to finish the whole sutta um, as mentioned by Poonam. Okay, I also want to appreciate Monica Woon for her wonderful support all throughout for our Sutta study session so far. And okay, with all credit to her for the wonderful background support. And I also would like to share all merits and blessing to her. And also would like to share the same merit with Poonam's amazing support with our Dhamma USA activities all throughout. So the Four Noble Truths is the very essence of Buddha Dhamma. And if we want to know about Buddhism, Four Noble Truth is the must. Four Noble Truth has been explained in many, many suttas, and in the entire Buddhism, if we put that into a nutshell, we can say Four Noble Truths. Everything can be included into Four Noble Truths in a way. Let's see how this Sammādiṭṭhi Sutta explained under the guidance of Venerable Sariputta. Sadha usoti kote bhikkhu ayasmato Sariputta sabhasitang abhinanditva anumoditva ayasmantam Sariputtam uttari panjang apucham. So, those monks, whenever Sariputta explained about the words, and he was very happy. The monks were very happy to listen to the wonderful teaching of Venerable Sariputta. And then they asked him a further question. But friend, might there be another way in which a noble disciple is one of right view, Sammādiṭṭhi? So Venerable Sariputta was explaining just a few right view methods, and the previous one was about the nutrients. And here, Venerable Sariputta is giving another reply to them. And Siyapanauso anyopi pariyayo yatha ariya savako samma ditti hoti ujjugatassa ditti dhamme avecchappasadena samannagato agato imang saddhammanti. There might be friends. When friends, a noble disciple understands, this is the Four Noble Truth that he's talking about. And so the Venerable Sariputta mentions if somebody wants to think that he or she is in the right track, he or she is in the Dhamma, and he or she has unwavering mind, unshaken mind, and confidence in the Buddha Dhamma Sangha. This is another way to check that out. Siya also, yatoko also, arisauko, dukkhasa pajanati, dukkha samudayancha pajanati, dukkhancha pajanati, dukkha samudayancha pajanati, dukkha nirodhancha pajanati, dukkha nirodha gamining patipadancha pajanati. When friends, a noble disciple understands suffering, dukkhancha pajanati, dukkha samudayancha, the origin of suffering, dukkha nirodhancha, the cessation of suffering, dukkha nirodha gamini patipadancha, the way leading to the cessation of suffering. If someone knows that one and understand this, in this way, he is one of right way. Ettavatapiko avso ariyasavako samma ditti hoti ujugata sa ditti dhamme aveccha pasadena samannagato agato imang sadhammang. That way he or she can think that he or she has arrived at this true Dhamma. Yes, I have the right view. Yes, I have come to the true Dhamma. Yes, I have unwavering confidence in the Buddha Dhamma. So, one way of knowing is the Four Noble Truths. Katamam panauso dukkam. Katamo dukkha samudayo. Katamo dukkha nirodho. Katama dukkha nirodha gamini patipada. Jatipi dukkha, jarapi dukkha, vyatipi dukkha, maranampi dukkha, soka parideva dukkha dhamana supaya sadpi dukkha, apyehi sampayogo dukkho, pyehi vipayogo dukkho, yang pichang labhati tampi dukkhang, sankitena panchapadana kanda dukkha. So it also reminds me Venerable Sariputta's the other sutta that he discusses about the Four Noble Truths, that is Satya-vibhanga Sutta. Satya-vibhanga Sutta is also like a commentary on Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta, explained in detail. Such Dhammacakkappavattana is the precise version of Four Noble Truths, and Satya-vibhanga Sutta is the extension or extensive discussion. And Venerable Sariputta, as I always mention, um, amazing capacity to explain things in detail. That is why Buddha also assigned Venerable Sariputta in many occasions to continue the Dhamma talks and explain the monks some Dhamma matter. So Venerable Sariputta had that capacity to explain in details. And here he is talking about the Four Noble Truths again. And Jatipi dukkha, birth is suffering. Jarapi dukkha, aging is suffering. Vyadipi dukkha, sickness is suffering. Maranampi dukkhang, but death is suffering. And soka, parideva, dukkha, domanasa, upayasapi dukkha. Soka means here sorrow, and domanasa is lamentation, and so parideva is lamentation, and dukkha is pain. It's like a physical dukkha or physical pain can be, and domanasa is more of a mental suffering or mental pain, and it is more to do with the mental. And so dukkha and domanassa, they can go together in that way too. And then upayasa is despair, and so they are also suffering. Apyehi sampayogo dukkho, like to associate with the unpleasant ones is suffering. Uh, I think the translation is missing here. Appihi sampayog go dukkho means to associate with those who are unpleasant to you is suffering. And pihi vipayogo dukkho is association or dissociation of those unpleasant ones is suffering. Sometimes in life we have to live with people whom you are not so comfortable with. You still have to live with them. It maybe sometime it happens. Maybe your own bad karma it happens to you. Sometimes you have to deal with it, and that is suffering, dukkha. And PA Vipayoga Dukkha, there are very, very wonderful friends that you want to live with them. And sometimes you have to depart from them. You have to leave them. And sometimes you see them leaving away. So, and sometimes they pass away, sometimes they go to a different location. Yeah, this thing can happen too. So, PA Vipayoga Dukkha, that is also suffering. And then yang pichangna labhati tampi dukkhang, like you want to have something, not to obtain what one wants is suffering. You want something, but you don't get it. So that is suffering. Sankitena pancha upadana kanda. So in a nutshell, in brief, in essence, pancha upadana kanda, the five aggregates, rupa vedana, sanya, sankhara, all these are actually suffering. So that is about the truth of suffering. And idam uchata also dukkhang. This is called suffering. Katamocha also dukkha samudaya. What is the origin of suffering? Yang tanha pono bhavika nandiraga sahagata tatra tatra bhinandini sayat hidang. Now, the tanha or the craving is there, which is pono bhavika, that generates punabhava, or that generates uh, rebirth. Nandiraga sahagata, and that also is accompanied by delight and lust. Nandi means delight, raga means lust, and sagata means accompanied or endowed with. Tatra tatra bhinandini, delight in this and that. And sayadhidang, what is that? And that is kama tanha, bhava tanha, vibhava tanha. These are the root causes of suffering. Kama tanha, craving for sensual pleasures, especially those of us who are in this karma world. There are 11 karma worlds, one human world, four apaya worlds, naraka, tirachana, peta, asura, and then six heavenly worlds. These 11 worlds are called karma worlds. So sensual desire, for sensual pleasures, that is happening in these worlds. That is called kama tanha. And bhava tanha is craving for being, craving for existence. So that's another kind of tanha that we have. And vibhava tanha is also craving for non-being or craving for non-existence. Like sometimes when people practice bhavatanha, is like we want this existence, and that let's say like you have come out of a very sunny outside trip and walk, and then you come inside, you feel so good, you come under a tree, that shade gives you so much comfort. So you feel like you want to stay there for long, and you feel like you need that shade for a longer time, and every other place also, but it doesn't happen. And later on, let's say now it is getting cold and you don't like that shade anymore, you like the sun. So you feel like sun is so good, and but it is again not permanent, and you don't like that forever. So this existing, so that the tanha for bhava, the tanha for being, is also a pretty much part of our samsara. And another thing is like kama tanha, the bhava tanha and vibhava tanha, they can also be related to rupa bhava and arupa bhava, the Brahma realms, the jhanic factors. Like some in jhanic worlds, jhanic practices, you also have rupa bhava, and that is in the Brahma realm. There are some Brahma realms for rupa and material sphere, and then vibhavatanha is non-being. Like you don't want this body, you don't even have any tanha or craving for this existence or this body, so you will be born in um, the Brahma realm, but it is still not the end of the samsara. You will still be there, and in that there may be longer time you might be there in that immaterial Brahma realm, but it is still not the end of the samsara. So this continuous samsara is part of our desire, and the origin is of that is the desire. One more thing is the non-being. Like sometimes you like to be in the cold or in shade. Sometimes you don't like to be in the shade. Sometimes you really want something. Sometimes you really don't want something. So like being and non-being can be explained in that way as well. Okay, so then khatamo chauso dukkha nirodho yo tassa eva tanhaya asesa viraga nirodho chago patinisaggo mutti analayo. And what is the cessation of suffering? It is the remainderless fading away and ceasing, the giving up, relinquishing, letting go, and rejecting of that same craving. This is called the cessation of suffering. So, cessation of suffering is dukkha nirodha. Yo tassaya eva tanhaya, that particular craving or tanha. Asesa means without anything remaining, and viraga is completely relinquishing or giving up. Nirodha, that that giving up, and chaga is that letting go. Patinisaga is that rejecting, or mutti also can be like liberating, and that analayo means not attracting to that, not attached to that, all kinds of tanha. So if tanha or craving is the root cause of suffering, so the resolution or the solution to get rid of tanha is the cessation of tanha. So complete absence, completely relinquishing, letting go, rejecting, giving up tanha, or fading away tanha without anything remaining, remainderless fading away. Asesa viraga nirodha. That is called uh, nirodha, and that is also called nibbana. So nibbana, ni and vana. Vana is, or bana means tanha or craving, and nibbana or nirvana means absence, complete absence of tanha. So it's not to be born in another realm. It is the complete absence of that tanha. So like if you can check yourself how much uh, attachment we have for our day-to-day mundane worldly lifestyle, and so many things we are attached to that. So letting go them is not so easy, and to attain nibbana is not so easy. And some of those latent tendencies can still be there in us, even though we are able to get rid of some gross level, surface level tanha or desire or craving when we practice some dana. When we practice dana, we can let go some of the possessions, but we still hold on to many, many things. Sometimes people even practice dana expecting more things in return. That's another craving, right? Sometimes people give something expecting more, much more in return. Sometimes people want to give something to a monk or to a homeless person or to somebody, and then expect something like to be born in a heavenly realm or something like that. And expecting too much is another problem that we have. So within this practice also we see it's not easy. So it is a tadanga level, is the temporary kind of suppression that we have when we practice those dhanas. And then you have to when you practice like jhanas, we can actually suppress or eliminate those uh, desires, those cravings in vikambana level. And so like Kamachanda, Vyapada, Thinamidda, Uddhacha, Kukucha, Vichikicha, those five hindrances. Those hindrances will be substantially suppressed when you attain the jhanas. And so it's really good. But then again, when you come out of the jhana, those defilements can still be there. So it's not completely gone. It's gone for a substantially gone, though maybe with like with the other mundane people, it's not there for those people who practice jhana. And if they continue to practice jhana, and some of these really powerful defilements can be suppressed to a greater extent, but still it can be there. So how to get rid of them completely? To get rid of them completely, we have to attain Sotapanna, Sakadagami, Anagami, Arahanta. So this is the only way. And so it's important that we practice, try to attain Sotapanna. If you attain Sotapanna, all the apaya gamaniya, the defilements will be completely gone. Samucheda level, it will be gone in Samucheda level. Just like Sakkaya Ditthi, Vichikicha, Silabhata, Paramasa, the three fetters, the three Sangyojanas will be completely gone. And when you are in Sakadagami level, the once return level, the uh, Kamaraga Patiga will be substantially gone again. It's not completely gone unless you attain Anagami. Kamaraga Patiga will still be there unless you attain Anagami. But in Sakadagami level, you will be able to eliminate them to a greater extent. And when you are in Sotapanna level, it is also said Sattakhattu Parama. You will be born maximum 7 births only. So within 7 births, you will be able to attain the Nibbana. This is really very important. And when you attain Sotapanna, you will never be born in the hell realm. It's again is really, really important, because if we are born in hell realm, we never know when to come out of that, where to come, when to come out of that, we don't know. Even if you are born as a lion, even if you are born as an elephant, you will continue to do wrong things. You will continue to create very powerful bad karma there. So it's difficult. It is suffering, and in the other hell realms, even more suffering, like Peta world or other the Tirachana or Peta or Asura or Naraka, even more dangerous. So you can be there for eons and eons sometimes. It will be difficult to come out of when you are born in the hell realm. If you attain Sotapanna, you will never be born in the hell realm. That is guaranteed. And your Nibbana, your final liberation is guaranteed. Within maximum 7 births, Satta Kattu Parama, your liberation is guaranteed. Really, really important. And Sakadagami means Sakrut Agami or Sakang Agami, sucking Agami. One more time you might come back. So again, it's important that when you get rid of this Kamaraga and Patiga, this sensual desire and this ill will, to a greater extent you can get rid of. Remember, even the Sakadagami person can get married. They still have kama raga. They can also get angry to a certain extent. So kama raga patiga can still be there in the sakadagami person. Anagami person, when you become anagami, that those subtle forms of kama raga will also be gone. Anagami means non-return. So if you die as a sakadagami person, you will come back to this birth only once, this human realm only once you will come back. And that will be the end of your samsara. And then and there you will be able to attain the Nibbana. And Anagami is also very interesting, like non-returner. If you die as an Anagami person, you will be born in a Brahma realm, and most probably you will be able to attain the Nibbana there itself right away. And when you are born in the Brahma realm, you will be able to attain the Nibbana right away. For example, in the Ghatikara Sutta, it is said the Buddha's former friend, actually, Gautama Buddha's former friend, and they were both good friends in the Vipassana Buddha's time. And during that time, Ghatikara the potter was a very, very devoted upasaka of the Buddha. And our Buddha, Gautama Buddha, was named Jyotipala that time. He was not very interested in meeting the Buddha even. And Gatikara was the one who actually um, prompted him, encouraged him, he forced him. He talked to him many times, and let's go and meet the Buddha. And Jyotipala said, no, no, I'm not interested. And so he tried to actually avoid that, skip that. But Gatikara continued to encourage him, and eventually they went. And then Jyotipala found it right away. Oh, this is my life, and I want to become a monk. And then he wanted to become a monk. And that's how they became so good friends. And later on, Gatikara died as an Anagami person, and he was born in the Brahma realm, so as Gatikara Brahma. And he was already an Arahant there when he was born. Very interesting. And then he met the Gautama Buddha. He came to meet the Gautama Buddha. And one day, when he came to the Buddha, he said, uh, I was a friend of you, a good friend of you before. And then Gautama Buddha said, yes, I know very well. We were good friends. And then they were walking. And then the Buddha said, this is the place where we met in Rajgir. He said, this is the place where we met Vipassana Buddha. Really, really fascinating. And then the Gatikara Brahma invited the Gautama Buddha, Bhante, please stay here for a while and meditate here for a while to bless this wonderful place where the former Buddha and the current Buddha are both blessing. So this would become a double blessed place. So he invited the Buddha to bless that place by meditating there for a while. Interesting story. And then also in Pukusati story, we know Pukusati died as an anagami, and when he was born in the Brahma realm, again he was born as an arahant. So that can be the case for many people, and so those people who are born in the Brahma realm, there can be so many arahant Brahmas there, and even in the Deva realm there can be so many devas who have become Sotapanna, Sakadagami, Anagami, and Arahanta. So it's really, really interesting and really, really important that these many Brahmas and Devas, they must have seen other Devas too, other Buddhas, many other Buddhas. Like Gatikara Brahma already saw Vipassi Buddha and Gautama Buddha both, and there can be so many other Brahmas who have seen many, many Buddhas. Remember, and devas like Anathapindika, and devas like Mahamaya, what we call Matu Devaraja. So she was the Buddha's
Or
mother. Yeah,
sorry, not
the mother of the Buddha, and so she also saw the Buddha, and many devas, Anathapindika, and many other devas already have seen the Buddhas, and some of the Buddha, some of the devas actually must have seen many other Buddhas, and particularly the Brahmas can see many Buddhas. Okay, so with that, I would like to continue. Dukkha Nirodha, and then Katamancha also Dukkha Nirodho, Katamocha also Dukkha Nirodha Gamini Patipada, Ayameva Aryo Attangiko Maggo. So, what is the way leading to the cessation of suffering? Path leading to the cessation of suffering, and that is the Noble Eightfold Path. Sammādiṭṭhi, Samma Sankappa, Samma Vacha, Samma Kammanta, Samma Ajiva, Samma Sati, Samma Samadhi. Did I say all the eight? Sammādiṭṭhi, Samma Sankappa, Samma Vacha, Samma Kammanta, Samma Ajiva, Samma Vayama, Samma Sati, and Samma Samadhi. This is the Noble Eightfold Path. And as we popularly are familiar with this right view, right concentration, and right speech, and right action, and right livelihood, and right mindfulness, and right concentration. These are all what we call the path leading to the cessation of suffering. And yata ko auso Arya Savako evan dukkhang pajanati, evan dukkha samudayang pajanati, evan dukkha nirodhang pajanati, evan dukkha nirodha gamining patipadang pajanati. So sabbaso raganusayang pahaya patighanusayang pahaya patin vinodetva asmiti ditti mananusayang samohanitva avijjang pahaya Vijjang upaditva ditteva dhamme dukkha santa karo hoti. So when someone, a noble disciple, has thus understood dukkhang pajanati, dukkha samudayang, understood the truth of suffering, the cause of suffering, the cessation of suffering, and the path leading to the cessation of suffering. So sabbaso raga anusayang pahaya, he will be able to get rid of the raga anusaya, the latent tendency of raga. And then patigha anusayang pahaya, raga is that the lustful nature, and the patig is the ill will, and then anusaya means those latent tendencies hidden, deep rooted tendencies, and pativinoditva, getting rid of them. Asmiti ditting mananusayam. So asmiti ditti, this means I am here, this is me, that notion, that mana, that view, and mananusayam, the conceit, samohanitva, completely abolished, having completely abolished, avijjam pahaya, completely abandoned, and the having abandoned the ignorance, vijjang upaditva, having generated the vijjang, or the knowledge, ditteva dhamme, in this very life itself, dukkhasa antakaro hoti, will end the suffering. That is about the practice of Four Noble Truths. Ettavataapiko auso arisavako Sammādiṭṭhi hoti. And this is why Sammādiṭṭhi is important. And that person can also straighten the ditti, ujugata saditti. And then the dhamme aveccha pasadena samanagato. He or she can be very much confident in the Dhamma, mind unshaken, completely, very clear comprehension about the Dhamma. You are very clear about the Buddha Dhamma Sangha, and you will never hesitate about this triple gem. And agato imang sadhammang, then you will know that you are already in the right path. You are already in the true Dhamma. Yeah, so that is about the Four Noble Truths, and from next week onward, we will like to discuss a little more detail about these uh, factors, and Sammādiṭṭhi will be further elaborated in the weeks to come. And yes, with that, I would like to pass it to our host, Poonam. And if you have any questions, you are welcome to ask. Please double check if you have any questions in the YouTube channel. If someone has any question, or here Sheetal or someone, if you have a question, maybe we can take some time. Over to you.
Bantaji, in the chat, there is no question.
All right. Okay.
So
Okay.
thank you for joining us, dear Dhamma brothers and sisters. May I now request Bantaji to close the program by transferring merits.
Hmm. Okay. And yes, thank you again for joining us today with our Dhamma discussion, Sutta discussion session, and appreciate everyone's participation. And hopefully this Dhamma discussion, Sutta discussion will also give us a better chance to learn and practice more Dhamma. And it is very important that we keep practicing and then we keep learning. It's important for our sansaric journey, that we do the right thing, that we practice the Dhamma. And by participating, we hope and that you and your family members, friends and relatives, teachers and elders be blessed by the Noble Triple Gem. By listening to Dhamma talks, you will also be able to listen to something that you haven't heard before, and then that is called asutang sunati. And if you have listened to something already, that can be consolidated here, sutang pariyodapeti, kankang vitarati, you can clear your doubts. And ditting chittamasa pasiddhati, and ditting ujung karoti, this samadhitti can be straightened. And chittamasa pasiddhati, your heart will become so happy. You will have dhamma piti, dhamma sukha in you when you listen to more and more Dhamma talk. So keep listening to Dhamma talk, keep learning the Dhamma, and follow the path, follow the Dhamma, and try to enlighten yourself. And With that blissful thoughts, we would like to conclude today. And may you all be well, happy, and healthy. May all your family members, friends, and relatives also be well, happy, and healthy. May all your departed ones be able to share this merit, receive this merit, be well, happy, and healthy. Especially, we would like to bless the people who are suffering from corona or from other chronic diseases. May they also be blessed by the Noble Triple Gem. May all of you and may all of us, may all Devas, Brahmas, all sentient beings be able to attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana, the absolute peace and happiness at the end of our samsara. Thinking thus, let us keep our palms together close to our heart and say three times, Sadhu, Sadhu,
Sadhu,
Sadhu.
Sadhu,
sadhu,
sadhu, sadhu.
Vidhyo vivajjantu sabba rogo vinasato mate bhavattu antarayo sukhe dighaayuko bhava bhavatu sabba mangalang rakkhantu sabba devata sabba buddhanubhavena sada soddhi bhavantu te. Bhavatu sabba mangalang rakkhantu sabba devata sabba dhammanubhavena sada sotti bhavantu te. Bhavatu sabba mangalang rakkhantu sabba devata sabba sanghanubhavena sada sotti bhavantu te. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.